If you checked your bank account this morning, or if you've been waiting for that historic January deposit, you might be confused. You were promised a raise. You heard the news Social Security benefits were going up by 2.8% starting in January 2026. You did the mental math. You thought, okay, finally, a little breathing room. But now that the money is actually moving, thousands of you are asking the same question. Where is the rest of it? I'm seeing your comments on my last video. Some of you are seeing an increase of only $30 or $40. Some of you are seeing numbers that don't make sense at all. And rumors are flying around about a bonus that simply isn't there. Here is the truth. A new rule did take effect this month. But it's not just about the money coming in. It's about the money being taken out before it ever hits your bank. Today, we are putting the rumors to rest. No clickbait. No maybe. I am going to walk you through the exact math of the January 2026 update. We are going to calculate dollar for dollar how the new Medicare premiums, the 2026 tax brackets, and the new earnings limit are impacting your wallet right now. If you are retired on SSDI or receiving spousal benefits, grab your statement. Let's do the math together. First, let's look at the input. The money SSA says they are giving you. As of January 2026, the cost of living adjustment is officially 2.8%. This is the number meant to combat inflation. Now, 2.8% isn't the massive 8% we saw a few years ago, but it's historically average. So, what does that look like on paper? Let's look at a sample check. If the average retiree benefit in 2025 was $1,900 and we multiply that by 1.028, the new gross amount is $1,953.20. That is a raise of $53.20. On the surface, an extra $53 a month sounds okay. It covers a tank of gas, maybe a few days of groceries. If you were receiving the maximum benefit, let's say you were a high earner getting $3,800 a month, your raise is closer to $106. So, if the math is that simple, why are so many people reporting that their deposit is lower than this? This is where the new rule regarding Medicare comes in. And this is the part the headlines usually skip. Social Security and Medicare are two separate programs, but they are linked by one very annoying rule: the hold harmless provision and the automatic deduction. Most of you have your Medicare Part B premium deducted directly from your Social Security check. You never see that money. It goes straight to CMS. Here is the big change for January 2026 that is catching people off guard. The standard Part B premium has jumped to $202.90. That is an increase of $17.90 per month compared to last year. Now, you might say, wait, $18 isn't that much. But you have to subtract that $18 from your raise. Let's go back to our average retiree. He was supposed to get a raise of $53. But we have to subtract the Medicare hike of $17.90. His actual raise? $35.30. Do you see that? Nearly 35% of the raise was instantly wiped out by the rising cost of health care. He isn't getting $53 extra to spend. He's getting $35. And for those of you on smaller benefits, let's say you receive $1,200 a month, the math is even more brutal. $1,200 times 2.8% is a raise of $33.60. But once you subtract the nearly $18 Medicare hike, your net gain is only $15.70. If you are a low-income senior, your historic raise for 2026 is effectively $15 a month. That is the reality. That is why you are looking at your bank account today thinking, this doesn't feel like a raise. Because purely in terms of buying power, it isn't. Now, if you think the Medicare deduction is the only thing eating your check, I have bad news. There is a silent rule that hasn't been updated in decades, and in 2026, it's going to hurt more seniors than ever before. We need to talk about provisional income and taxes. Here is the rule. The IRS taxes your Social Security benefits if your provisional income goes over a certain limit. If you are single and your combined income is over $25,000, you pay taxes on up to 50% of your benefits. If you are married and over $32,000, it kicks in. Here is the problem. These numbers, $25,000 and $32,000, were set in the 1980s. They were never adjusted for inflation. Every year, you get a COLA raise. Your check gets bigger, but the tax limit stays the same. Because of the January 2026 increase, thousands of you just got pushed over that line. Let's say you were right on the edge last year. You were earning $24,500. You paid zero taxes on your benefits. Great. But this year, your 2.8% raise pushed your income to $25,200. Suddenly, the IRS says, "Welcome to the club." Now, a portion of your benefits is taxable. So, not only did Medicare take $18 of your raise, but come April 2027, you might owe money back to the IRS because this raise pushed you into a taxable bracket. Okay, enough bad news. Is there any good news in the January 2026 rules? Actually, yes, especially if you are one of the millions of seniors who are choosing or are forced to keep working. For 2026, the earnings test limit has officially increased. This is the rule that punishes you for working while collecting benefits if you haven't reached full retirement age. The new limit is $24,480. This means you can now earn up to $24,480 a year from a job without the SSA withholding a single penny of your benefits. That is an increase from last year. If you go over that amount, they still withhold $1 for every $2 you earn. And if you are turning your full retirement age this year, in 2026, the limit is much higher, $65,160. Once you hit your birthday, the limit disappears entirely. So, if you plan to work part-time this year to supplement that small COLA raise, just keep that number in mind. $24,480. Stay under that, and you keep your full check. Finally, I need to address the elephant in the room. The rumors. I have seen the thumbnails. I have seen the headlines. New $2,000 stimulus check, approved for seniors. Fourth stimulus check, arriving January 20th. Please, listen to me carefully. There is no fourth stimulus check. There is no $2,000 bonus deposit coming this month. The only extra money hitting your account is the 2.8% COLA raise we just calculated. Anyone telling you to register for a $2,000 payment is likely trying to scam you or just get you to click. The SSA does not send bonus checks. They send scheduled benefits. So, to recap the new rule impact for January, your benefits are up 2.8%. Your Medicare premium is up to $202.90, which eats about a third of that raise. Your tax thresholds did not change, so watch out for tax season, and you can now earn up to $24,480 if you are still working. This is the math. It's not flashy, and it's probably not the jackpot you were hoping for, but it is the truth. Now, I want to hear from you. Did the math add up for your specific situation? Did your deposit hit yet? And was it lower than you expected? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you want to know how to legally lower your provisional income so you don't get hit by that tax trap I mentioned earlier, make sure you are subscribed, because that is the next deep dive we are doing. Stay informed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next update.